Hello everyone here at the Coherence Meditation Gym. It is Monday, and I'm so excited that on Wednesday we get to do tuning into new potentials, the meditation, Dr. Joe's meditation. So today is going to be centered on going over his explanation. I've taken notes. Most of his meditations come with a short explanation. I listen to it, take notes, and then convey that to you. Mm, um, Sharing a little bit about my experience and interacting with you with any questions or anything that you think would be relevant to preparing ourselves to make the most out of this meditation as we do it together. There's something really powerful when we get together and do it in group through Zoom, which is pretty fascinating that even though there's people from all over the world that tune in, there seems to be just a beautiful collective energy that gets created, and then the sharing afterwards is very enriching. So I encourage you to make an effort to come to the meditations and and then to stay afterwards, time permitting, and also get to share your experience and ask questions. None of this is recorded when we do these meditations. It is just a very we're there, we're present, we share what's alive in us in the moment. That's priceless, really. It's like we're in the present moment, and as we know with this work, there's so much unknown, and so learning and sharing with each other is really a beautiful opportunity that we have to continue, expand, and grow together. And we're all at different levels, and we all obviously have our own unique experience and take. But it's a beautiful thing to come in together in community and share. Hi, Julia. Thanks for being here live. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into to my notes and to explaining based on Dr. Joe's explanation. And I also always like to mention I am not a trained Dr. Joe facilitator. I am a heart math certified coach since 2016, and I've been doing this work, deep diving into Dr. Joe's work for many years now, and have had my own personal revelations and experiences, and healed a lot of emotional trauma myself, and just continue to be fascinated by how much there is to still discover, and also love hearing stories from people. Yesterday was Sunday, Mother's Day. I had the beautiful opportunity to interview Dr. Charles Oliveira, and he is in the movie Sources Within You, that was released in San Diego, which is still not available for us. But I met him in San Diego. He's from Puerto Rico. We started a conversation in Spanish, and just the desire for so much more content in Spanish. So the initial idea was to do it just in Spanish, an interview, and for him to share his testimony of healing very just a intense type of cancer, myeloma, multiple myeloma. I'm not sure I pronounce it all, the myeloma. Anyway, my point is that he agreed to an English interview, and so we'll be getting together next week to do that one. So I'm really excited to share with you here when that's ready. So yeah, to the point where I love this work and believe in it so much, and so deep diving into it and hearing stories and sharing our experience is something I'm really passionate about. Okay, so tuning into new potentials. So Dr. Joe starts by saying just how demystifying this process is it is the point of what we're doing. As we understand what we're doing, we can go in deeper into it, so we have more abilities when we practice. And so he starts by saying that all potentials exist in the quantum field in the present moment. All the things that we want are already available. They exist as potentials in the quantum field. And all potentials that exist in the quantum field exist as potentials electromagnetically. That is a really important point. Is that, yeah, they don't, they exist somewhere, but they're electromagnetic. So our job then is to change our energy to match those potentials that already exist in the quantum field. So that is our job. The potential is already there. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to change our energy to match the potential. There is a potential for us to get healthy. There is a potential for us to get wealthy. There is a potential for us to have a mystical experience. They all exist right now, in the present moment. And so our thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of our body. How we think and how we feel create the state of being. How we think, how we feel create our state of being. I think by now we have that pretty clear, right? But now the challenge is like, how do we create that and how do we sustain that? Well, so thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. Super important distinction. Thoughts, electric, feelings, magnetic. So when we change how we think and how we feel, we cast a whole electromagnetic signature. I like to imagine us becoming like broadcasts, like literally. I have a TV background, so broadcasting, like there's like these big satellites dishes outside of like the news stations. You're like broadcasting, or a radio station, or like any tower. Like we're towers. All of us are towers. And so when we are changing the way we think and how we feel, we're cast, like broadcast, like we're emanating. And if we can move out of some of the limiting emotions, that like stress, anger, unworthiness, insecurity, shame, fear, anxiety, we change our emotional state. When we change our emotional state, it means that we change our energy. Pretty, I think, well, I don't want to say basic, but just like we know this. As we do this work, the more we know this and come to understand it and really become it, and that's, I think, the work is continuing to become aware of our state of being and being so conscious about what we are broadcasting. And that's one of my most important things that I've come to understand as I've studied heart math and the power that each one of us has in influencing the field. We all have an immense power in what we're what we are feeding the field, as Dr. Roland McCready from Heart Math says. What are we feeding the field? Are we feeding it stress, anger, anxiety, shame, fear? That is imminent. We're all broadcasting something. But we know with Dr. Joe's work is that the stress and all these lower frequencies we become dense. We become more particle and less energy. But as we raise our frequency, as we raise, we're tuning into a new potential. And what do we want? I mean, like most of us, want more health, more wealth, more love, freedom, joy, high frequencies. And so as we raise our frequency, we change the state of being. We're emanating at a different frequency. So back to the meditation, which is going to be about an hour long. In the focused of the meditation, the focused time of the meditation, we're going through all this shift inside. There is a part for the breath at the beginning. This one contains the breath, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think I wrote that down. Practice it, yeah. Yeah, it does have the breath, as we know, like that really intense at the beginning, where we're like pulling the mind, like fluid up our spine, and it's like the intense experience of breathing and locking in our insides and touching the pineal gland. This one includes that breath at the beginning. So we're really like, in a meditation, doing this whole process of um, um, being proactive about tuning into the potential that we want to create. So if the state of being called abundance exists as a potential in the quantum field already, then we have to change our state of being to match that what abundance feels like. So we have to change our state. So obviously this is important before doing this, going into this meditation, is to already have prepared what it is that you want to tune into, what it is that you want to create. So if you have Becoming Supernatural, that is on like page 76, where he actually does describe this this process in this explanation, and where we have that clear intention already, because in this meditation we're going to tune into two potentials, one that we want to create, another one that we want to play with. So all right, let me go back to my notes so I don't lose track of his explanation in the order that he has it. So if we can combine the clear intention with the elevated emotion, we are moving into a new state of being. In the meditation, he will ask us to move into two states of being. In one state, something that he recommends we choose, something that we would really like to create in our life, something that has meaning, something that is important to us. And then the second one, something that we would like to play with, that there is not as much like stakes, like it's something more like, wouldn't it be nice if we could create a mystical experience, or a greater understanding about time, or to dream more, something that we just don't have that much energy like on. And that one, he says, is typically the one that manifests first, because there's so much resistance. So when our energy matches that energy that is in the quantum field, we're drawing the experience to us. So let's say the abundance is the thing that we're working on. So in order for us to tune into abundance, we have to have an intention of what that is. So here's the part where he says, on a piece of paper. So that's a great idea for us to, like I said, to have this already prepared. And I have 3 personally that I'm working on. So I'm gonna, for Wednesday, I'm just gonna choose one to focus on of the ones that I'm like planning, and then I'm gonna have another one that's just not as intense, like manifesting some drawers in my daughter's room that she really needs. That's something that I don't have that much, wouldn't it be fun if they appeared in a fun way? And see, now they're gonna happen, and I'm gonna send you a picture of it. So I'm personally working on these. They're a little bit, yeah. So I have the center of what a few letters that represent what it is that I'm creating. I have the feelings on one side, and then on the other side I have clearly what they are, what it is that I'm creating. So on that piece of paper, again, it's in the book as well. Um, the squiggly lines, so we draw a letter that represents our creation, and then two squiggly lines um, uh, um, side by side, and that those represent the electromagnetic field that and that's the intention. Sorry, not the intention. Um, so we have to marry. So we have to marry the intention. We know that with the elevated emotion. So most people, when we want abundance, what we really want is freedom. So freedom to do whatever we want, whenever we want, with whomever we want, as many times as we want. So the emotion or the sponsoring thought behind abundance is the emotion called freedom. So in order for us to move into a new state of being, when when he says, what is that first potential that we want to tune into, we would have to bring up that symbol in our mind, that letter A in his example, and teach our body emotionally what that future is going to feel like in the present moment. So, doing the pre work is important because we need to know, we have to teach the body emotionally what the future is going to feel like in the present moment. So that's our work. You know, we're all creating different things. You got your representation of what you want to create. Now we got to create the emotion, like teach the body. And I think that this is a lot where people get stuck is, how do I teach the body to feel a way that I've never felt before? I've gotten this question a lot. I'll get back to that. We'll just keep going here. So when we combine that clear intention with the elevated emotion, we're moving into a new state of being, and our body is no longer living in the past, and now we're um, being defined by the future. So when we move into this state of being, a state of being is a personality. A personality creates a personal reality. So as we move into a new state of being, and we are broadcasting a new signature into the field, he says to us, now live in that future. Now live, basically live in that future, and asks, what choices will you make? What behaviors will you demonstrate? What experiences await you, and how would they feel? So we're up there in the field creating the feelings. We've already have the prompts of what it is that we want to create, and then we're basking in, we become it, that we're living it. It's real. It's happening. So as we begin to observe all those images, we are training our brain now to change, to look like the experience has happened. So from the research that he says that from research we know that we can change our brain and body to look like the event has already occurred by thought alone. We're using this ability that we have to change physiologically our brain and our body just by thought alone. So as we live in that future and we rehearse those choices we are going to make and the behaviors we're going to demonstrate. So as we rehearse those choices we are going to make and the behaviors that we're going to demonstrate, and we can observe a new experience and bring up the emotion of how it would feel, we are changing our brain and body to no longer be defined by a memory of the past. But we are training our brain and body to be defined as a vision of the future. And so he will ask us to live in that future and afterwards. And this is a really important part. I think this is a really important part, is to surrender. Surrender that into a greater mind. I know that a lot of us get stuck into, okay, I did it, I created it, where is it now? Like, I want evidence, but I think that this is, again, the part where we, by like wanting it to be manifested immediately, like then we kind of sabotage the whole point, because then we probably didn't actually do the meditation in the way that it's intended. Because if we actually did step into living it, being it, like, becoming, training the body and the brain, we actually come out of the meditation satisfied. Like, just like, the brain doesn't know if it happened or not. We are sitting in meditation. We, just like when we go to, if we have ever been to one of the events, you're sitting in meditation and you're in a ballroom. But the shifts inside are so immensely powerful that you just come out of that a new person. But all along, we didn't go out and do and do all the motions that we do as humans to create outcomes where there's time and activities and schedules and all the things. Like, we're creating from energy, not matter to matter. But then the part about surrendering it, and then having that faith, that trust. So as we do this, we will allow a greater mind to organize it in a way that is right for us. There's something much greater that takes place. So trusting it, surrendering it is a really important part. Okay, so thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. How we think and how we feel creates our state of being. If we are living by the survival emotions of stress, hormones, and we are moving matter and less energy, in other words, we're matter trying to change matter. It's going to be harder. It's going to be, yeah. And when we combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, we are broadcasting a bigger, way bigger electromagnetic signature. And now we are more energy and less matter. When we get to that state, when we are more energy and less matter, that's the time when we can execute a greater effects in our world. So all potentials exist in the quantum fields electromagnetically. When we change our energy to match that potential, we are drawing a future to us. Yes. So fun. It's so fun, I think, to just know this, to realize this, to surrender to it. And it really takes, I think it's like a beautiful combination of having this awareness that this is how things work. This is how we manifest. I think that's why it's such a popular meditation from Dr. Joe, because it's us tuning into a new potential, tuning into new futures, tuning into who and what we want to create, and becoming it, and living it, and surrendering to it, and then the allowing for that piece of allowing a greater mind to organize it for us. I love the full moon. This is a personal story. Every full moon, I like to release. It's a time for me to release, let go of things that no longer serve me. And one of the ones that always comes up is the letting go of control. Letting go of, it's like, I can, there's something greater that that knows, whether that is my higher mind, God, the universe, angels, whatever that is. Like, there is something way larger than my physical brain has the capacity to even comprehend. But when I let it go and then I allow things to come to me in a way that I least expected, it's just like, oh yes, exactly, exactly. I'm not in control. There, to a certain degree, you gotta let go and let go. It's such a famous saying. Or let whatever it is that we believe in. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Please, if there's any comments, anything that you would like to add or ask, feel free to type it in here. If you're watching this as a recording, I'm on my Facebook Live, and I don't know why I get only a few comments, and then I stop it, and then I get all the questions and comments. So sorry if I missed anything here live. If you're watching this as a recording, I'll still find the time to just type that in, or please, this is a collective experience, so feel free to interact with each other with comments and have our collective wisdom add to this, and your own experience and your own questions to add to our learning and to our growth and expansion. And I look forward to seeing those of you who are joining in to the meditation on Wednesday morning, 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you if if you watch this and it's already passed, come join the Coherence Meditation Gym. I post this also on YouTube, so if you're watching it on YouTube, come join us at the Coherence Meditation Gym. We do 4 meditations a month, and people tune in from around the world, and it's again a beautiful collective experience of energy coming and sharing together. And hit the subscribe button, share it with anyone that you think might benefit from this. On that note, again, I will end this by saying I'm really excited to ask questions to Dr. Charles Oliveira, who is in the Source movie that I had just the beautiful privilege of meeting at Source the movie. And if you have any questions for him, please make sure you type them here or write me a message. And I want to include as much as I can, people's perspective on different things, on how he healed himself from cancer. And he was at a Dr. Joe retreat last year only, and he has no traces of cancer, and it was a very severe myeloma cancer that kept coming back. All right, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your day, or wherever you are in the world, and I will see you around. Bye for today.